Hello and welcome back to our Rock Yaman Sitar lesson series. I'm Will Marsh. We're in the key of D. And on this class, lesson 11, we're going to start looking at the concept of taans, an important part of development in raga music. And the taans happen in the context of a rhythmic cycle and a composition. And we have already learned a wonderful composition in Tintal for our raga Yaman. And so what happens now is this composition is like a springboard or a theme to improvise and then come back to. And you've probably heard this in Indian music where there is a melody that repeats and the artist will go and improvise and play ideas and then come back to that. And in this class, we're going to kind of be more into the theory of it. I'll give you a couple short taans to practice, but I want to make sure that the whole concept and idea of taans are clear to you. And so in performance, a taan is improvised. However, when we're learning as students, we learn composed taans from our teachers that give us a guide to, how do we take this rag, improvise, and come back. And so all musicians, we learn and memorize many composed taans, and then when we perform, we use that to inform our improvisation. So we're going to begin our process of learning taans, and there's basically a way that we develop taans, and that is we start with a short phrase and we gradually expand them to longer phrases. This is one of the themes that you'll see in learning taans, is a short phrase, longer, longer, longer. And with a taan, there's not really any particular rule other than you need to be in the rag, and you need to know where you are in the tal, in the rhythmic cycle. And so with that, you're free to explore all of your technique, all of your ideas, playing in eighth notes or in triplets, or anything is really possible. It's a very creative part of the music. But for us, we're going to learn the kind of foundations first. And now that I mentioned that, we learn these from shorter to longer, another important thing about a taan is how do we come back to that composition? What does that look like? Because that is crucial, that you're able to play your taan, your idea, and then return back to the melody. Now there are a couple ways to come back to the melody, and there's something we can do called the T-high, which is an idea 3 times that brings us back to the first beat of the cycle on our melody. And there's also a way that we can come back from the lead in to the melody. Now I'll demonstrate all of this. And if you've learned this composition, which if you haven't, I encourage you to go back and learn that in the earlier lessons, because that'll be crucial as we go on with this. We have a full composition with multiple lines, but we're going to take one of them to make it our main theme. And this main theme we call the gut, G-A-T, gut. And for this composition, our gut will be this. And you can see it covers one cycle. Da din din da da din din da da din din da chitty din din da da. So this is our guts. This will be our main theme. And in most cases, that first line of the composition will become the gut, or the main theme. And now the other thing I want to show you is there's something called the mukra. And what is the mukra? The mukra is the phrase that leads into the gut to get us to one, so that we're not just ending right on one, but we kind of have a little bit of a lead in. And the mukra for this piece is And the beautiful thing about this mukra is it gives your tabla player a kind of heads up that, oh, he's going back to the composition and I can meet him there on the first beat. So check it out. 1. That phrase is our mukra. Re de ga ga de de ni de ga. Now, in the first few taans that we learn, we're going to come back to this mukra. That will be the way that we return to the gut. So I've talked about a lot of terms, taan, gut, mukra. I'll go ahead and demonstrate those for you. And I am at the tempo of 133 in Teen Tal here. Na tin tin na ta tin din da ha. And the other thing that you need to know is what beat does that mukra start on? Let's find out. Din, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Re de ga ga re re ni ni re ga. Our mukra begins on beat 11, 9, 10. Take a few rounds to get the starting of that mukra in your head, because that's how we're going to return to our gut. 9, 10. Na, din, din, na, na, din. Now I'll play the full gut. Taan. Back to the gut. What I'm doing here is I'm taking the space in between the gut and the mukra to improvise a little line and then come back. I hope all of these terms are clear now. The mukra begins on beat 11 and takes us back to the first beat, and then our gut is the first line of this composition. So I hope all of these concepts are becoming clear, and what I want to leave you with today is 2 simple taans that you can start practicing and getting this concept. Now, first I'll just show you the notes of the taan. Our first taan will play ni re ga ma pa ma. Try that with me. 2, 3, 4. Ni re ga ma pa ma. Now after this phrase we come to the mukra, which is so we have mukra, back. Now the question is, what beat does that start on? The taan, that starts on beat 5. So it sounds like this. Ga, ga, re, ga, ma, pa, pa, ga, ma, re, ga, ga, re, re, mi, re. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taan, mukra. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the tabla so that you can play along with me. It'll make more sense with all of that. Again, this is at 133. Da, din, din, da, na, din. Now for the taan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mukra. one more taan with the same idea. Our second taan will be ni da pa ma dha pa. Try that with me from ni. 2, 3, 4. Ni da pa ma da pa. Again, 2, 3, 4. Ni da pa ma da pa. Re re ga ga re re mi mi. And that takes us back to the mukra. So again, the same way we do this, let's try it with the tabla. Din din da da din din da 9, 10. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Back to the gut. So I'll play these 2 taans for you. 2, 3, 4. We'll do the gut in between. Second time. Take some time, get these 2 taans going, get familiar with the feeling of coming back to the mukura, of knowing which beat you're starting from, and it'll be a fun journey as we start developing and getting deeper into taans. They're a very exciting part of the development of raga. And so this concludes lesson 11. Thanks so much for joining me here. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. You'll be notified when new videos come out. Let me know how these classes are going. I'd love to hear your feedback. And furthermore, if you think private lessons would be helpful, learning this material, digesting it, that is something I also offer. You can learn more about that on my website, willmarshmusic.com. It's been great to have you here. See you on the next class.